Hey y'all, welcome to a Hey y'all, it's Hey y'all. Stop. I didn't do that right. Okay. Hey y'all, let's control your money. Welcome to another Mommy and Me Money Chat. I'm Amber and this is
Pam.
and today's discussion is something I've been wanting to talk about for a little while. But it's one of the things that I so enjoyed about my mom and how she raised me, and it has impacted so much how I think about money. And it's not necessarily about spending money, but about living life in spite of money. So, as a child, my mom had me everywhere. And the important thing to note is that my mom did not drive and we did not have a car. But there are so many places in Miami-Dade County that my mom had me. One of the my favorite things to do with my mom was just ride the Metro Rail. And actually that's how I got so good at understanding north, south, east, and west was from taking the Metro Rail, which only really goes north and south. But that was something that I just loved because we would ride that train. It looked like we would just get on at the second to last stop, which was in our neighborhood on the north end, and ride it all the way down to the southernmost stop. We didn't even get off at that stop. We would just ride to the end and then ride back. And usually it was, days that she had to go to her job, which was downtown. So we would be taking the train anyway to get there. And instead of just going right back home, we would extend the trip. And but she also had me on the bus. I learned to ride the bus, right? Getting around town with my mom. There were a lot of creative ways that we would get around by leaning on the help of others that did have vehicles and things like that. And we're very grateful for that. But the ones that got to me the most were the public transportation. And I'm not saying that money and public transportation have a correlation necessarily, but for me, it just showed me that you don't have a lot of money to actually live, like to experience things and to get outside. And, I really have to give a lot of credit to my mom and my aunt. They really did make sure that my cousins and I in our house were culturally enriched. They forced us to participate in a lot of activities, whether we wanted to or not. But in hindsight, it was very, very good that they did that. It added a lot to our lives, and it definitely gave me a wonderful, wonderful perspective about living in life. And it gave me a lot of interest that I am heavily involved in now as an adult. So I'm always just so impressed at the way my mama had me outside. Outside without a car. But it's I'm always asking her, like, why did you think that was so important? Did you realize that you made it seem important to me? So I want her to go over a little bit of that today.
Hello, everyone. Well, in our community, as we all know, we make do with what we have. We make do with what we don't have. So we sort of blend those two together to make it work. I'm not the only one to have done that. Some Mainly it was out of necessity, but you have children, you want them to grow and not be locked in because you're locked in. To let them to be free to see that there's a world outside of home. That's very important for a young mind to see something different, a different neighborhood, a different way that people react culturally. All of those stimulate the mind. And from what we had going on at home with my sister Barbara, she was a paraprofessional and kept them engaged in all kind of things. We had them reading, doing all kind of activities at home, which was good. But then outside of home was where life is. Life happens also, I should say. Mm-hmm. So that was important to have her see that if you don't have a car, it doesn't mean your world has stopped. Mm-hmm. The world keeps revolving, and you can still be a part of that. You can still get to functions. You can still, you find a way. What basically it is if you don't have a way and it's something you want to do, there are alternatives. So you keep that in mind. You don't have to wait on people. Sometimes everybody's schedule is busy. You don't, they don't have the time that to take you anywhere. So what are you going to do? Just sit there? You got to get to doctor's appointments, dental appointments. You got to, all kind of things, shopping, grocery shopping. So we ran the gamut of everything and everybody. Almost became popular in a sense because people came to know us. They came to respect, that we respected them. And a lot of things we sort of, in a way, got for free by going out. Taxis, the bus drivers would put me off as close as possible to my house without getting in trouble. But, they would go the extra mile. So we see all of that, At the grocery store, you used to have people there that would take you home.
Uber before Uber.
Before Uber. They were the original Ubers. They stand around the grocery store, take you home. You get to know these people. You're in a bind. They're like that, Sometimes I have 5 or 6 taxis show up at my house. I'm like, I only want one of y'all.
A society cab.
Yeah, society cab, Liberty City, and a yellow cab, whatever it was. We were on it if we needed it. And there were times even late night school functions.
Oh, yes.
You had to get there. PTA meetings, you can't miss those, So you have to make a way, and that's what I wanted to show her. That's another side of independence. So when she can now tell you Miami with her eyes closed, Broward with her eyes closed. Anywhere she can go and glance one, I've been here, I've been there, So it's important for kids to see and experience things and not be bound. Take advantage of what's in your neighborhood. Take advantage of those things that they can do that doesn't really cost you a lot of money. So those were some of those experiences. What's your best experience?
Well, the one that I remember the most, and I don't know why. I wish I could sit down and really think about why, but we would go to the movies. So where we lived was east of what is Hialeah. So we were on the northwest side of Miami, but if you went further west over this bridge on 103rd, if you know Miami, which 103rd Street, once you cross the bridge, you were on West 49th Street, which was the Hialeah side. And it was a different place than the northwest side of Miami. This is in the 80s and the 90s. These were very totally different places. And we would go to the movies. There was a movie on, I think it was at AMC on West 49th Street. And I used to get so excited for that because that was like that's the big going out on a Saturday, But I was just so appreciative. I always remember being so appreciative because the movies also cost money. So it's one thing to get out and explore the world, but now you're at the movies, which also costs money. It was much cheaper then than it is today, but it's still, when resources were limited, that was like an extra treat. And we would have to walk. The bus then dropped you off right in front of the movie theater, and then afterwards, for various reasons, we would end up walking a little ways to get back to the bus to come back home. And I just appreciated that my mom, and maybe it was movies that she really wanted to see, I don't know, but I'm very opinionated about movies. So when I want to see something, it's what I want to see. And even if other people are not interested, I still want to see it. So I'm sure I dragged her along in that respect for some of the films. But I knew that my mom was sacrificing not just her time, but her money and walking, that type of thing. Like, I knew every part of it was a sacrifice. But I just so appreciated that you thought enough of me to make sure that I had the experience to get that.
Oh, you're welcome. My baby. To take care of our kids,
Yeah.
They're our gifts. So I thought that was very important. And growing up, our parents had us, our guardians had us, some everywhere too. So that's sort of like what propelled us to put them in certain situations. Our aunts carried us and made us perform this place and that place, and they were great at what they did, So we were showcasing ours, letting the world see what we had available to share with them. So
it definitely gave us a strong work ethic.
Yes, it did.
Which is appreciated.
Yeah, I'm
but
sure
we were complaining in our, a long time.
As we were. But I knew the outcome. I knew what it would do for you. So,
and it did.
Public speaking,
yes,
everything.
It did.
Comes right back to where she is today. So
they had us in oratorical activities, so reciting poetry. Thank you to Dorothy Saunders, Miss Dorothy Saunders, my 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade elementary school teacher, who I still am connected to today. I'm going to call her tomorrow. That's my reminder.
Yes.
But she noticed the talent in my cousin and I, and started getting us engaged, and they just carried it on forth. My mom and my aunt Barbara.
Yes.
But like she said, it all worked out. Definitely, it all worked out, and it all paid it forward. So that's what we're doing now. I'm doing now is paying it forward. But I just really, as it relates to money, again, I so appreciate that perspective that you don't have to have money to live life. I know that, if circumstances were different for me today, I would still be out pursuing my interests and having a good time doing it. I have had a blast for free as an adult. And I definitely attribute that to learning how to be resourceful, in terms of getting outside and being outside from my mommy.
Yeah.
So.
And there are a lot of community centers in the neighborhood.
Cultural centers
that you can take your kids to. Libraries, a lot that you can take them, and it expands their horizons. So whatever you can look, some news articles or ads on social media.
The library
can tell you what's happening. Your community newspapers or notices can tell you. And just take the kids out. Let them see something a little different. Let them get outside of where they are, expand their imaginations, and it helps them to grow. So I'm glad that you enjoyed that. I didn't think it was important at the time. I knew it was what I wanted to do, but I didn't know it had that effect on her. So she was telling me more recently how much she really enjoyed that. So that was nice to hear.
Oh, I'm glad. All right, before she gets emotional.
Yes.
This was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Good.
All right. Until next time, we were really tired, but we pushed through, y'all. We said we had to do this today. So until next time, when we have a lot more energy.
Control your money. Bye.
People have no idea. Lord Jesus.
I'm about to shut up.
Okay. You see my eyes?